So we're ready to start our ears, which is made with 22 gauge wire and our pre-felt. I feel like I got kind of into a personal lunch space and now I'm trying to get back. So I find the center of the wire and then I want to fold these back. This is going to be the little bump over the head, but I want to fold these back up about a half of an inch apart. Someone had a super cool little trick to do that, and I don't remember what it was. But you want a centered half-inch space at the bottom here. So from there, we want to go 3.5 inches. So I think that this hair, I was like, why does he look like a bunny? And it's because his ears weren't big enough. So this one, I made them bigger.
Very hairy.
Yeah. And then I take that, I just turn that around. Just turn the corner a little bit so that this outside line is more like vertical. Put it on here so you can see it.
I thought you were going to break into song for a moment.
What did I say?
I said turn around.
My favorite.
I know. I heard it.
That
it was right there.
Song has taken on some serious new meaning. I finally understand what it means. I get it, Bonnie Tyler. Okay, we don't need to talk about that song anymore because I feel like I talk about it every video. And I say how I made Sean and Talbot watch it. Okay, so I just want to cut this out with a little bit, like 1/4 inch on each side. And we save this because we're going to use that for feet. And then here, come around down the center. And then around here, down the center, just kind of basically making the outline. And then I just pull it in half because it's easier to work on one ear at a time. Okay. So we have this new tool. And it's great for teasing out your fiber edge. And you do want to tease out the edges so that you don't have a big chunk. Be careful. This can sort of pull it right apart. So, but we do want to get this nice and fringy so that when we fold our pieces over, they incorporate smoothly. This, your ear is going to lose its shape a little bit. It doesn't matter. You're going to pull it back into the right place. Okay. So now we get to blend some fiber. Mainly chestnut and this natural brown. So I'm going to take the end and pull it of each one. I could put a little autumn gold in there. I'll save that for later. And then just pull it and restack it. And these colors are real similar in value, so they're going to blend relatively easily. All right.
That's some floofy stuff.
I know, it's great. And then you just go right across. This is one of the more time-consuming parts of this project because there's a lot of detail that you can get in the ear. So hopefully, I don't know if I'll work on one and then I don't know if we want to film both. I like to go dark at the tip, so I'm using the, this is also a natural color, this smooth brown top. Just a little bit across the tip of the ear. And then I can put a tiny bit more of that. Like a thin little glaze just to blend it. I'm going to use the punch tool to start to bring it together and flatten it out. And because it makes a very satisfying sound. And then it's good to come at it from the other way a little bit. It's going to get stabbed so much more that just getting it to begin to come together is good. It doesn't have to be fully felted. Okay. Then we take the ear and put it on here. And I think it's easiest just to get one side over. Try not to close your ear. You need this width. Like you need the shape to stay the width that it is. And then on the other side. And then I can even like make my ears a tiny bit longer by not perfectly following the wire. Let's try that. So instead of pulling tight to the wire, I'm going to come up here and make my own shape at the top. So my wire is like right here, but now I have another 1/4 of an inch. The punch tool can work over wire pretty well because the needles are spaced out. Look how nice that looks on the back. So I want to punch it from the back before I put the accent colors on the inside of the ear, because I don't want a lot of punch through when I put the pink on here. Well, it's going to do it anyway, but. Now, normally I would say build both of your ears at the same time. But I think this is so time consuming. I'm going to build one and not show both on. What do you think?
Yeah, it sounds.
Yeah, it's a lot of detail, so we'd be here forever. And you can apply what I'm saying to each ear. So definitely take a look at some inspirational reference images. They go black right here. I like to put a little pink in their ears, so I mix this geranium with some of the caramel core. And I'm just going to go ahead and mix what I think will be enough for both ears. The caramel core just tones it a little, like tones it down a tiny bit. You could even put some chestnut in here, but I think this is going to work well.
Is there a very standard hair, ear look, or is there some variation?
I think there's some variation, but if you look at a bunch of images, you'll see there's a standard, I guess. But all right, so take a little bit of this fluff and just go right in the center here. I'm going vertically so that the fringe blends. Put a tiny glaze of this pink. It's a little too salmon-y. Okay. Then they go a little bit of off-white, thin little roll in your fingers. Goes down the outside of the ear. And this is a little tricky because your wire is there. I try to get it just to the outside of the wire so that I get a nice thin edge to the ear. Sometimes when you have to make a thin shape, even if the center is a little thicker than it is in real life, if you can really thin the edge, it gives the illusion that the whole thing is thin. And then on the inside of the ear, they have a little fluffy spot. I'm going to take some oatmeal and some off-white chunky and blend it together. Like a little inch of each. And I'm going to just pull it apart, save half for my other ear, and then take this, put it along the side, and I'm just going to felt the center. So almost like a fur technique. I want the edges to fluff up. Their ear kind of folds around, so we're trying to get a lot of detail into a rather small piece of sculpture here. So to help it look kind of like fringy and fold it around, we can take this tool and pull this fiber out to lose that rolled edge look, and then felt that. And then when you fold your ear, you can kind of fold it around a little bit. I think I want a little black line right here too. I don't have my reference picture up, I have to admit. But I just made 2, so.
You've looked at a lot of pictures. In my head.
Yeah. Okay. This is going to get further shaped when I finish my other side. So this goes on. Then you could do the pink and then the black, or the black and the pink. You might even go back and forth a little bit. Off-white chunky core down the outside, and your more fluffy blend on the inside of the ear. When I get this done, we will put them on. Okay, I did both ears. I did it. I lost my rabbit.
It's under the fluff.
Oh my gosh. Okie dokie. All right, so we're going to close these at the bottom. Just pinch them for now. I mean, you can felt it together a little bit, I guess. With me, I'm like, maybe you want to do this.
Do what you want.
And then set that. Actually, before we set that on, I'm going to add a tiny little step. Let's just use, I have this little piece of oats, and I'm going to wrap it on the round side of the Renzulli tool. It's about 1/4, maybe 3 inches long. I'm just going to go straight around. I felt like the ears kept sinking down the head, and this is going to hold them up. So I'm going to put this around the back of the head, side to side. Like that. So now that gives us a place to land. So I'm putting these on top of the head with the backs of the ears just resting on that new little piece I added. And then these, I just want to twist up each side under the chin. So just as tight as you can. Like so. And then I want to take, I think I'll use caramel and crisscross this into place. So I'm going to take a nice long, I have a piece here. About 1/4 of a 6-inch piece. Not sure why I had that, but maybe you still have that. And I'm going to go around the head. And then I want to come back here and go in between the ears. And then go around the head and then go in between the ears the other way. And that holds everything on. And then close this out.
That was from the leg tendon, so they should have it.
Good.
Why wasn't the rabbit crowned king?
I don't know.
He wasn't the true heir to the throne. Felt like he just got crowned with his
Yes, that was it.
with his ears.
So timely.
Well, I try.
We're so elevated in our joke telling. These are nice big ears. I like that idea of the
Extra.
yeah. All right, we're gonna just step away from the head, but we did have to get that on there. All right, we did that. We did that. We did that. Next page. Ooh, shape notes. 3 times the flat side of the Renzulli tool. I don't know about this. We're gonna do it once and see where we are. I did it 3 times on the last hair. You'll see what I'm saying. Let's take a 9-inch piece and quarter it. Off-white chunky core. And then we're going to wrap a 3-inch rectangle on the Renzulli tool. And I'm going to use 2 of the 9-inch pieces. So like 1 goes the distance, but whenever you make a shape like this, you've got to go back. So my other piece is going back. All right. I would take this and it's going to be a rib cage and a chest. So I'm putting the bulk of it as the rib cage, and then I'm going to turn the corner and come just to the base of the neck and tack that on. So in my notes, I have to make this shape 3 times, but rather it was the other 2 were going on the sides, but rather than do that, we're just going to wrap this shape in place, and that will put more wool on the sides because it moved around too much. Telling you guys a lot of stuff that you don't need to know. Okay. So rather than take these and make more shapes, we're going to take these and just go right around this piece. And that's going to give us a little bit more bulk on the sides that we needed.
Those ears are going to be in the way now.
I know they are. The hair is kind of cat-like in its it's lean under there, but there's a lot of moving skin. Nobody wants moving skin. That doesn't sound good.
It needs to move just enough.
All right. And then shoulders. Yes, we're going to make 2 double-decker tacos. They have a pretty prominent shoulder muscle and collarbone and shoulder blade. So we're just going to make that with 1 piece. We're going to take a 4-inch piece of core, split it in half, and we're going to make 2 double-decker tacos. I have done this shape on the Renzulli tool as well, but the double-decker taco, having the fringy edge is good. So I'm stabbing 1/3 of the way down. I'm going to fold it over, and then I'm going to stab 1/3 and then fold it up. What?
I just think it's funny that there's now a lot of people out there who are like, oh yeah, double-decker taco. Like, that's the shape I'm making. And it just makes sense.
I could go for a double decker.
So that gives us this nice, like as if you wrapped a tool, but then we still have this more manipulatable,
Yes.
More easily.
fringy edge. So this shape that I'm making is a little over 1 inch wide. This way. It's 2 inches wide the other way. All right. These are some seriously grabby needles. Okay. So we want the rolled edge to be forward, and we're going to come up to the shoulder blades, like the rabbit's withers. I don't know if that's what they're called. And then kind of make this point of the shoulder here by forcing the shape into a little angle. And then this one goes down to the elbow. And the fringe comes back.
We really should have named all the shapes after something food related. That would have been...
What would a ghost be?
I don't know. I was just thinking about that. That would have been the way to go.
Yeah. I mean, we've got triangles and bells and...
No, this is a ghoul.
What?
This is a ghoul.
A ghoul. It's not food. What else
I
do
mean,
we
the
have?
triangle is a slice of pizza.
Yeah.
Well, tacos.
Then we should just make up shapes after food that we like.
Yes.
Yeah. Like, I love to use the tortellini shape.
That's a good shape. You're making that right now, kind of.
But a fortune cookie.
Yeah. All right. So this is how it looks from the front and from the sides. I was really trying to get stabbing with this angle in mind, almost a right angle, following the leg back and then coming from the point of the shoulder back to the withers. Yeah, double decker taco is just, it's great because it has the bulk, it has the fringe, it attaches completely. So satisfying.
As would be a
As
double decker
would be.
taco.
As a double decker taco should be. Okay. Then we're going to two times soft pillow. Oh, okay. Let's stick with off-white chunky core. Do a 4-inch piece, quarters, and then just fold this in your hand, thinking 3/4 of an inch, but it's going to end up an inch. And one's going to go on the front of the neck and blend into the chest. They have a really pronounced neck and chest. So this is just starting to aid in that. But the rest of it's done with floof. I can feel my tricep arm skin moving. Speaking of skin, that should...
You want me to zoom in and motion?
And then I said the back of the head, but we kind of already did that with the piece that I added, but I'm going to just do slightly less wool and go on the back of the neck up to that piece that we added. Nice. I wonder if I was supposed to... I'm going to back up in my notes and get caramel on the legs here so that they match these. I like to keep everything at the same pace. So I'm going to do 4 inches and quarter it, and then use a quarter on each leg. Kind of going a little more at the top of the leg and then taper as it comes down. Give their leg a little bit of shape.
Italian proverb.
Yeah.
When the lion is dead, the hares jump upon his carcass.
You're supposed to go like this.
When the lion is dead.
The German version, every
The hares jump upon the carcass.
German,
that was more Philly, sorry.
Yeah, that's Philly. That's okay. Every hare may pluck the dead lion's mane. That's like the German version. I don't know why the lion and the hare.
This is brutal.
What does it mean? Does it it doesn't matter who you are once you're dead, you're dead?
Once you're dead, you're dead. And people will be rejoicing in your death and stealing your hair.
Your hair.
Your hair.
Okay. All right. We need 2 full, 3-inch pieces of off-white chunky core. I just grab it so that it's at the end of my fist. It's more like 4 maybe. And spread those out. And we're going to put one of these as a big old shingle or taco on each side. So try to let it extend. I'm going to put just a little bit more. I'm adding a tiny bit because I want it to go from the back leg all the way to the front leg. This is hanging down about 3/4 of an inch.
Interesting. This is like a non-shape shape.
It is a non-shape shape, and it works well to fill out what's happening, that skin I was telling you about. And then fold that over. So not a total taco because not a total taco. It's a shingle. You want to felt the center and then fold that over and felt it down. So it gives you a staggered fringe.
Definitely needs a slang book.
Yeah.
To the jargon.
So you can see how it hangs down from the other side. Yeah, hopefully this is even because it's kind of a non-shape shape.
Oh, it's clear what
It's
you're
still
doing. You don't
clear.
do it very often,
Yeah.
I feel like.
Right. This is where when I had this pillow and then 2 on the sides, it was too wibbly wobbly. So I like the wrap technique better.
It was lovely of you for you to figure that out for everyone.
This is going to give you more of that filling in this space here. And because it's all vertical, it can move. It all goes this way. It can move with the leg. It kind of ends up getting tapped in together under the belly. All right, but that is the extent of the hair shapes. I'm not going too Not going too crazy there. Next page. We're on the face. All right, this is how it goes. It goes ghost chin, 2 little ghost muzzles, little double-decker taco cheekbones, double-decker taco forehead, nose bell, nose, eyes, eyebrows done. Okay.
That quick.
Yep. All right, we're going to take 6 inches and take a quarter. I'm just pulling a quarter without worrying about the rest. And we're going to wrap the round end of the Zuli tool. I think you could also use the middle-ish of the face ace. And I'm going to crisscross up here once. All right, when we slide that off, you want to stab the tip back in really nice and round. This is its little chin. And it's okay that this is it's a pretty bulky shape, but we got quite a cavity to fill under the eyes here. I mean, under the nose. All right, so I really rounded that out. Kind of looks like my finger. Hopefully it looks like yours too. Okay, then we're gonna put this right in here. I'm letting the chin just go right up to this bent wire. You don't want to tuck it behind it. He'll look weird. Go right up even with it. And tack that down.
Does that end up getting any top coat, or is that just the piece as it is?
That's just the piece as it. Well, I did put a little brown on there.
But the tip of the chin just stays.
Yeah, I've been leaving it off white.
Nice.
Oh boy. Okay. We want to make, I've gone back and forth with the muzzle color. I'm going to use oats because it's so neutral, but you could go off-white and then tone it. This one I went oats and then added a little off-white and caramel to it. So it can get further detail. So if we take a 4-inch piece of oats and make quarters, I think this will be a good amount. It might still be too much, but we will find out shortly. Okay. I'm going to use the widest part of the face ace and just go right around here. Maybe a little bit of travel to make sure I'm getting a good healthy 1/2 to 3/4 of an inch. And then when I slide it off, same thing. I just want to stab this a little bit round. Not too much because I've got to stab it on as well. But this is going here to make the muzzle. But we need one on each side. I used to make this with one piece that I pulled on the Zuli tool, but I didn't have, I think it's just a little harder to control. Not as clear, maybe.
The one piece with the indentation?
Yeah. I think this gives everybody a little more control. These need to meet in front. They need to come together for a good 1/4 of an inch. So make sure you allow it to go around the turn. And I want it to hang just over the chin a little bit. So you're stabbing this fringe kind of into the space between the chin and the head. So I'm really trying to give you a good explanation of. And then you're going to come at it probably with a single needle. Stronger, stronger. What?
My ankle popped really loud.
Oh.
I heard it in headphones.
Oh, I smell like kind of handsome already. I also added this little detail of a little extra nose bump because they have kind of a prominent nose, and we are going to make a shape here, but there's a pretty good indent right here. So I want to fill that in a little bit. So this is just some black. It's not their nose. It's just a piece to fill the space. Just folded a little soft seed. I should have showed that more clearly. Took a piece like this and I just folded it almost kind of like I make an eye, but not even that. It doesn't have to be that round. Okay, now double decker taco time. I'm going to use the dark gray. Double decker taco, dark gray, 2 inches. Okay. 2 inches. This way. Put it vertically. I got it kind of scrunched up into about 1 inch. Same deal, a third, a third, a third. This is a great shape. So good. Okay. The brown hair has a really distinctive shape to its head. So make sure that you find a reference image so that you can see what we're going after. They go here and then they turn a corner and then their eyes are like just bulging out of all of that. It's very different from the snow hare, who's very just sort of sloped and contained, and the eyes are smaller and set well into the head. This piece is going to help us get this turn. So we have this, but we need to have this come out straighter so that it can make the turn. So I'm going to put it at the back of the head, can let the fringe go between or around the ears and let each side come down. He looks a little bit like a coyote right now. So just letting this turn the corner. Don't pull it too tight. Let it, you kind of want to build a bit of an angle there. Almost like you're trying to make a square around the head. And his eye is actually going to go into this almost like above the wrapped wire shape. It's real important to get all your face shapes locked into the solid form that's underneath. Oh, it looks cool. Okay, we need a tiny little double-decker taco for their little squared off cheekbone. So I'm just going to use some caramel. It's about a 1/2 inch wide, and I just need a small indication here. It's not a big shape. And this is just gonna finish out this cheekbone area. Kind of just hanging a little bit past the chin. They don't poof out, and they're like the opposite of rabbits. They don't poof out in their cheek at all. In fact, it's like even a little bit farther in than their eyes. So that's why this is such a lean shape. But we do want to get something here so it's not just a void. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and get the eyes in so that we know where they are. I've got a 3-inch strip that I'm gonna split in half. They can be really big. I mean, not huge, but I do sometimes even end up making them bigger. So to get a round shape, I really try to make the entire sphere. I just keep folding the sides in and folding it up in my hands.
Those are some big eyes compared to the snow hare.
Yes. And then I stab at the edges so that it stays nice and round. And I put it high on the head. That's the other thing, is the snow hare has a lot of forehead between its eyes, whereas this hare does not have a lot above its eyes. Very little, in fact. Is this in your way? I like that you want to see.
I do keep looking around. I'm watching very intently.
Hit me with a proverb.
Well,
or a joke.
There's not many. We used all the rabbit jokes in the world. Okay. This one's really weird, but it has to be shared. Indian proverb: turkeys, parrots, and hares don't know what gratitude is.
Neither does a snail. Turkeys.
It does. It sounds like a news bulletin.
They picked the most random animals. Turkeys. Who?
Parrots.
Parrots.
Maybe this is a zodiac thing.
I think a parrot might have a clue. Turkeys too. Maybe they all do. I don't know. I think we don't give animals enough credit.
Turkeys are just clueless.
You have to teach turkeys how to eat.
We used to get wild turkeys into there's like super high fence on the organic produce farm to keep the deer out. And the turkeys would like swoop down in and land in there, but then they couldn't get back out because they didn't have the same amount of space. We had to let them out. They're just like running into the fence. All right, looking crazy, but this next piece is going to bring it all together. It's the nose bell. It needs a name. It needs a food name. Nose bell. Oats with color. That's my note. Okay. So we're going to take... I'm going to try to get like a 1-inch square piece of oats. Might take a little restacking. Like you're trying to get a nice little condensed 1-inch square with the fringe going to the side. And then, do we have any of our blend left? Yeah. And then our chestnut and Manx blend.
That was your ear color?
Yes. And for now, that's it. I'm not going to go crazier than that. Then you flip that over and we stab the bell. Now, it's a bell because we want it to have a point at the tip of the nose, and then we want it to come along a narrow along the bridge of the nose. It's just like your nose, really. Little point, septum, bridge, and then we want it to branch out over the brows. It's not really a bell. It's more like an upside down funnel.
Oh, funnel cake. Wrong shape. Those are round.
And then this shape is going to get a little bit, like, kind of pull it and mess with it. But I do want to get the tip pretty well pointy. But the rest of it is manipulate. That is a hard word I'm having.
I don't know
Hard
if that is.
Manipulatable.
I don't know. If
Easily
that is,
manipulated, is that what I need to say?
Malleable.
Yeah, that's definitely what you need to say.
Malleable, maybe?
Malleable,
Flexible?
manipulatable.
I mean, just go with it.
I do. I do. I make up my own words all the time. All right, I'm going to fringe out along the bridge of the nose a tiny bit. Oh, I'm going to use my new tool.
It is a word. Manipulatable.
Manipulatable.
You really slammed those last few syllables.
Yes.
It's manipulatively.
You got it.
Yeah. Just rest your little head right there. Okay.
Looks like a Civil War soldier.
A Civil War soldier.
You gave him like a pointy hat.
He's got like a missing a leg from a cannonball. Oh, brutal. I don't like Civil War movies. I mean, no war was a good time. Okay, so I tried to leave that point so that I could bend it around and get their little nose like that. Oh, that looks good. I did good. Okay, and then this stuff we want just to come over the eye. And it's great to have fringe right here because this is a part of the head that often gets shortened up on people and on animals. There is some distance between the ear and the eye. And I'm going to make a brow. So this doesn't have to be the perfect brow in addition to everything else it's doing.
Yeah, that piece did quite a bit.
It does. Ooh, that's good. And then it's good to kind of go around the eyes because they really get defined. So all of the face shapes, and I say this on a lot of the things that we make, they're there for you to further sculpt once they're on. It's not like you put the face shape on. I mean, there are little like voila moments, but you still have to, like I'm looking at this eye, it's sinking down. I've got to shove it, keep felting it up. Okay. So I did that, and now this one's down. So I need to
Keep checking, keep shifting.
Definitely, going from right to left, it's very hard for us to stay symmetrical. So check your sculpture. Looking down from the top. Generally, my animal's left gets shoved back farther because I'm left-handed, so I'm kind of coming this way. And then I have to make sure that I do the same thing to the right side. Okay. They have, remember we used that dark gray. They have a little bit of darkness here. So I can use the smooth brown top, a little bit of black. Could use a little bit of dark gray. You don't need to be this. I'm just like looking at all these colors and thinking I want to use all three. Blend them together. And then before I put details on, I do want to get this darkness. It goes kind of from the eye right to the edge of the muzzle so that it's there if we decide to pull it back out. Just a little bit, because I don't want to add bulk. I just want to add color here. And make sure that you're not stabbing something, if you're trying to get color on, stabbing something too flat or too much. All right, we're gonna make a little brow. I like to use the Face Ace and a little piece of off-white chunky core, maybe about 2 inches. Thin strip, we'll see. And then go around like 2 to 3 dots up. 1, 2, 3.
Do you do a top and bottom brow, or?
I do a top brow and then just like a little bottom rim.
Okay.
So you want the bulk of the brow to come around the back and then just the corner to come around the front. So most of it is like on top and in back, and then just a teeny bit coming down the front. And I like to do 1, 2, 3, a little bit of fringe, just so the shape is real easy to add. And this eye is smaller than the other eye. So I check him. And then under the eye, I take a little bit of off-white, tiny bit, and I almost just kind of like roll it in my fingers to make a little noodle. Actually, we're gonna wait because we want to put the top coat shingle on there. So on the cheek, under the eye, I want to take my blend. I think I'm going to put a little bit of autumn gold in it just so that it's slightly different. So I've got the chestnut, the Manx, and the autumn gold. Take half of that. And then we're going to have the fringe come down and just stab right up under the eye. And then let this come down.
That no poofy cheek is a very big,
it's a
very big difference.
Yeah, very big difference. Now, this is a little much. So I get to decide, do I want to trim it? Do I want to just stab? I think I'm just going to stab it. Like stab it in, you know. All right. I could have cut this in half, but then I think it would have been too short. So I'm just going to work with it long. Trying to find about halfway, get up under the eye. I can feel it there. That's how I know where it is. You can check. All right, then we can put, oh my gosh, my left side always looks so much better. Then we can put our little off-white rim here. And sometimes on the eyes, I have to go back and forth. Like I have to re-add black, or you'll see when we get into the color. And that's okay, as long as you're not getting just like bigger and bigger and bigger and out of control.
Yeah, you don't use a whole lot of fiber, really.
Yeah. All right, a few more details on the face. I'm going to mix a color. I'm going to take Manx, chestnut, and smooth brown top and mix them. Get a little darker to go across the forehead. This one I got to cut in half because I'm trying to fill a narrow space. I feel like I want a little bit more chestnut. All right, we're gonna send this right across the forehead. I gotta trim it again. Sorry if my head's in the way, but
Nope.
okay. So I'm letting the fringe travel out towards the brows. And then I just want to stab it so that it doesn't totally cover it. Kind of gives it a natural edge. Like I said, trying to create some space between the ear and the eye is good. Know how that spot in needle felting, I have to work on that in my techniques as I build the head, getting that more naturally taken care of. Okay, to do the eye, I'm blending this, it's yolk merino and the core caramel, just to tone down the yellow a tiny bit. And this you can sort of break apart. John cracks a lot. And then you need a tiny bit to make a little round kind of pancake shape. Just kind of folding the edges in to try to make it round, but the stabbing is really going to do it. Am I well positioned?
Yeah, I'm going to zoom in a little
Okay.
extra.
This is where I re-rim the eye with black. Just a tiny little twist. Goes right over. Re-rimming it is way easier than trying to control exactly where the edge of the yellow goes. The gold. And then I want to put the black dot, which, I mean, pretty much, normally I would have it sort of under the lid, but part of the hare look is that their pupil is completely exposed.
Wide-eyed.
Yes. Good luck getting both eyes the same. This is your work. And then we definitely need a little bit of Sarafina white to make, I'm talking a tiny, tiny bit. To make a little life.
What?
A little life spark.
Slife.
A little slife. Is that what I said?
I think so.
Yeah.
I was gonna say
Spark of life.
spark of
I
life.
thought I
Yes.
just wasn't in the loop about something.
You aren't. The spark of life is the slife.
Okay. With a reverse needle, we can play around with pulling some of the darks out. Well, any color that's under there. There's all kinds of colors under there. But they have a fairly pronounced little dent here. You'll see in the pictures. The reverse needle is a lot of fun on something that has a lot of color changes and different things going on because it interrupts your efforts to make natural color changes and gives it a much better, like a much more natural look. I like to put on these guys a little black. They definitely have quite a bit of depth to their nostrils. So a nice black accent here is good. Kind of in a Y shape to each side of the nose.
He's very handsome.
Is he? And then another tiny little bit of black right to here. Having fluff floating around in my way.
Occupational hazard.
Yes.